Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and today we are out here on Redlawn Preserve, and as you can see, we've already got our tow rig put together. And now the reason for that is because we are going to be taking 3 ATVs that are available on both PC and consoles up to the realistic ATV park, which actually also has a mud pit, and we're going to be finding out which one of these is the best in the mud. Now, this isn't really to say that one of these is better than the other overall. We're just going to be testing the overall mudding capabilities of the following ATVs, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and put them together. We'll get them loaded up, get them out on the road, and then get them up to the ATV park. So we're heading up the windy road toward the ATV park, and we got everything loaded up, and what I did this time was, and you guys can let me know, whoop, there's a rock there. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this approach, but you guys have seen me build these particular ATVs, all 3 of these ATVs, many times before, and so what I decided to do on this particular adventure was I decided to go straight into the action of actually towing them out and testing them on the obstacles rather than spending a lot of time on the build itself. So let me know if you guys prefer that or if you guys would like me to include the builds every time. Now, I will say, especially on Dub's ATVs, there are some tires that are better in mud than others, and I am 99% sure that I went with the ones that were the correct that were the correct ones for mud. But I go back and forth sometimes. I'm like second guessing myself on whether or not I actually went with the right options for mud. But 9 times out of 10, I'm correct in remembering, you know, which tires do what. But we should be getting pretty dang close to the ATV park, at the top of the ATV park, and the main mud pit obstacle. Let's make our way just a little bit further on up this hill. God, Red's F350 tows so well. And I mean, really, this trailer is actually, like, the tires on this trailer are a little bit big for this truck, in my personal opinion. But then again, at the end of the day, I mean, if you throw the front weight on this thing, which I could have done, but I didn't think I needed to, it'll level out no problem at all. And I figured that with 3 ATVs, it wasn't going to be all that big of a deal in terms of, you know, really getting that front axle to stay on the ground. And it stays on the ground just fine. I think the only thing that I go back and forth on with it is the fact that, like, sometimes, like, especially when you're parked, it's a little iffy on it, but it's not really that big of a deal, like, at the end of the day. So we're up here at the start of the ATV park kind of, you know, unloading area, and I'm going to make my way over to the side of this garage, because this will be a pretty good place to unload. Let's get this guy positioned just a little bit higher up, and we will get the ramps down. And actually, let me go ahead and run the radar. Jumping rock discovered. Well, we know exactly where that is and exactly what it's all about. So let's go ahead and stop this thing. Oh, what? Okay, I should have done the ramps before I did that. All right, now we can stop the engine. And now we can unpack the trucks and trailers. And our first one off the trailer is going to be Red's Foxer ATV. So let's get this thing fired up, and we'll see what it can do out there in the mud. Now, it's a little iffy fitting it onto both ramps, so I was kind of just backing it up and hoping for the best. But the cool thing about this mud pit is the fact that it's like, it gets progressively deeper the further out you go, and it's also not the same everywhere. So let's see which way we want to go. I think we're going to head out this way, and then we'll do kind of like a mini loop, and we'll do that in all 3 of these to see how well they respond to it. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. I'm going to do it in high range first, and we'll see how far that gets us, and then we'll put it into automatic when high range won't get us any further. So it seems like high range actually stopped pretty early on, and whoa! What about low? Dang, are you serious? This thing does not want to go any farther, even in low? Like, what about low minus? Bro, I mean, I know we plunged it in here, but let's see if we just get the tires up on top of the mud just a tiny bit. No, it's still not feeling it. Okay, it still doesn't want to do it. I mean, I get that this mud is deep, but I figured that the boggers were going to be a really good decision for a mud obstacle that was this gnarly, you know what I mean? So let me figure out if I can get it just a little bit further on. The funny thing is, it was all about it when we just barreled straight into it in high, but after that, it was not feeling it whatsoever. So let me grab the Mule now and see how this thing does. I've got the Ag tires on this one, and the Ag tires are usually really good in mud. And let me see, I think I also have, yes, got the active lift going. Come on. All right, let's find the tire tracks. We don't have to match the tire tracks exactly, but I want to start in the same spot and then follow a similar route. Let me get this guy turned around. Ooh, easy. Thank you. All right, so how are we looking right now? So all-wheel drive, diff lock is only available in low. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Come on. Oh my God. Well, that was a, whoa, that was a difference. Holy smokes, we blazed right past that one. Now, here's my question. Like, my thing is, how far will we be able to keep this pace up? Because this is quite a pace to be keeping right now. It's still going. I mean, we're at the other end. I'm trying to do kind of like an outer loop to see how long it'll do this, but it has not slowed down yet. I mean, it is literally just continuing to barrel on through. I knew the ag tires were good. I didn't know they were this good. All right, so at this point, we've done a full lap of the outside edge of the mud pit in high. Let's see what happens if we go a little bit further inwards and try to cut across. Because cutting across, oh, okay, I mean, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Let's see. Come on. It's not too bad yet. It just gets really deep out towards this end, and this end can start to cause some problems for you depending on what rig you're in. Ah, there it is. Man, it barreled to a halt. It was like, yep, we're done. And I mean, at that point, like, it'll keep going. It just is like, once it hits that threshold, like, once it hits that limit and hits that threshold, you could have it in low plus with the lockers, sorry, even low minus, low plus, doesn't matter. And with your lockers on, it still is like, we're not going anywhere. Like, we're legit not going anywhere, and that is going to be where that stops. That's crazy to think about. The fact that we just did laps of this mud pit, like, in high range, and this thing was just like, yeah, we're not going any further. Like, the second, it's like it hits a wall, and I feel like that's part of just the physics system and the way that this game actually treats mud physics, but man, once these vehicles hit that wall, they've hit it. I mean, and they've hit it hard. Now, last but most certainly not least, is gonna be the Lander 1000. We're gonna try to do the same route that we did first in the first ATV, and then after that, we'll try and do a full lap, and then we'll try to follow the tracks set by the Mule. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, high range. Kind of splitting the difference between two sets of tracks here. Come on. It's still moving. I mean, we're in high. It's not quite as fast as the side-by-side, but it's moving. Yeah, we're in high range. It's still moving. I'm impressed. All right. Looks like I picked the right tires for the job, that's for sure. So let's see if we can keep it around the outside. It's doing all right. It's just not quite, it's not quite as fast as the side-by-side, but, I mean, if it's moving, I'm not really concerned how fast it is so long as it doesn't stop, you know? Now, it got really deep over here for a second, and that was one of the areas where the side-by-side wasn't having too great of a time, but it doesn't seem like the mud itself is that deep. It's just the water. Now, if you put it into automatic, third gear in automatic mode is actually quite a bit faster than high, and if you don't lift, it seems like this thing will do pretty well and go pretty far. I'm impressed, just doing a proper lap of the perimeter of the mud pit. So let's see. How far can we keep this going? And can we cut back across? Again, I haven't taken it out of automatic mode yet, so we're still rolling with this thing. In automatic, by the way. Like, the fact that it hasn't tried to shift itself yet is pretty mind-blowing. All right, come on. There's... Okay, so it tried to put itself back in first. Now I'm going to try to hold it in high and see how far it'll go. Let's see if it'll pass the Mule, because this is where the mud got ridiculously thick. Oh, wow. It stops in about exactly the same place. Even with the lockers on, I mean, it's still not really going to go any further. That's actually really interesting and really, really impressive. First of all, on all of these, all three did a really, really good job. I mean, this is a tough mud pit. This is not an easy mud pit whatsoever. But I just want to know how much thicker and deeper the mud is right here as compared to, like, all the other areas on this particular map, because that is insane. The fact that these two stopped in exactly the same spot, pretty mind-blowing, to be honest. Now, here's the thing. All of these have made their laps around the mud pit, but the tow rig has not. And I think at this point, the tow rig might as well have a go at it. Now, this is completely separate from this comparison, and it's not even, I almost said competition, but, like, it's not really a competition, it's just completely separate from this comparison of the ATVs, but I figured, you know what? Like, the tow rig is out here, so we might as well give it a try in 3, 2, 1, go! Oh my god, bro, thing is shredding. Already right off the bat. Thing is absolutely freaking shredding. What? All right, doing a little bit of a lap of the perimeter, or at least starting a lap of the perimeter. Let's go. Spinning a little bit. We've got the 10 speed in this thing, so high range is a lot of wheel speed, and so I was expecting it to kind of get bogged out or start to just spin and dig by now, but it is not interested in doing that. Come on, feathering the throttle just a little bit. Literally following in the tracks of the ATVs. I mean, that is gnarly, the fact that it's willing to follow in the tracks of the ATVs so readily. All right, so let's turn you in. Now we're going to go for a run across the middle. This is where that wheel speed will probably start hurting us, but at that point, oh god, yeah, at that point I'm going to probably just put it back into automatic mode and see if second or third gear is kind of okay with where we want to be. Fifth gear, she's rolling. All right. Now here's my question. Will it be able to pass these two? Because this is where the mud gets insane. I mean, it's still rolling, but not very fast. What's up, guys? I decided to bring the tow rig out here into the mud. Don't mind me. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, this mud is so incredibly nuts. I mean, it really is to the point where you'll get through it, like in a truck like this, you'll get through it, but it's going to take you... It's going to take you a while. It's going to take you a long while to make your way through a mud pit like this, even in a really well put together, well tuned, well set up truck. I mean, you would be like really working at it even in a dedicated mud truck, and that's saying something. Like this particular spot in this mud pit, the back end by the ATV trail entrance specifically is on a level that you're mostly only going to find on dedicated mudding maps. I mean, it really is absolutely gnarly. But if you guys enjoyed this video and this comparison, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And if you have a personal favorite out of any of these 3 ATVs, whether it's 1, 2, or all 3 of them, let me know which one you usually drive in the comment section down below. But that's going to do it for this adventure, and I will see y'all in the next one. Make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on, and I will see y'all next time.